There was some confusion among names on Daily Politics as BBC host Andrew Neil was forced to defend himself in a rather amusing way. The row erupted when Neil grilled Labour frontbencher Andrew Gwynne over fantastical calls by Labour for Britain to remain in a form of customs union after Brexit. Brexit Minister Steve Baker chimed in and said, "Andrew, if we were in a customs union with the European Union, then the European Union would set our external tariffs. That's what it means to be in a customs union, and that's what it means, and so we wouldn't be able to negotiate free trade deals." And Andrew's argument falls. BBC Brexit News. Andrew Neil said the Labour Party's Brexit position is fantasy. We wouldn't be able to negotiate free trade deals. And Andrew's argument falls. Steve Baker pointing to Mr. Gwynne. Neil said, "Okay, you mean that Andrew, the Brexit minister, laughed and pointed to Mr. Gwynne. He said, 'This Andrew,' with a stern face. Neil said, 'Very well. This Andrew never falls.'" The hilarious comeback was sparked by calls by Neil for the Labour MP to explain whether there has been the slightest slither of a sign that the European Union is prepared to agree to Britain being in a customs union. The Labour MP said, "Well, this is the answer I'm going to give you. We believe we will be in a position to negotiate a tariff-free trade agreement." Mr. Neil said, "It's fantastical, isn't it?" "Well, from everything that Mr. Barnier has said, it's fantasy." Mr. Gwynne said he does not believe remaining in a form of customs union after Brexit is fantasy. He said, "I think it's in the interest of the British people that we secure this deal." Jeremy Corbyn has said the UK will have to have a customs union with the EU after Brexit, suggesting Labour is pushing for a softer Brexit position. However, the message goes against that of Shadow International Trade Secretary Barry Gardner, who said customs union membership could be a disaster. Friday, December 8, 2017. Here is the 15-page Brexit deal in full. He said, "You leave the customs union because only member states of the European Union are members of the customs union. Other countries, like Turkey, have a separate customs union agreement. But the trouble with that is it gives you an asymmetrical relationship with the countries, the third-party countries, that the EU does a deal with. So the EU could do a deal with another country, let's say America, which we would be bound by. In the UK, we would have to accept the liberalisation of our markets. We would have to accept the goods coming into our markets on the terms agreed by Europe, which could be prejudicial to us, but we would not have the same access into America's markets. We would be bound to try to negotiate it, but why would America give us that access when it's got all the liberalisation of our markets that it wants? It's a disaster."